What's going on, guys? JT's with latest Mustang Automotive News. Today I want to give you a few tips if you're considering purchasing a new Mustang or a black car in general. Here's been my experience with that, and there's a few things you should know. I didn't know this before I bought my car. Kind of wish I would have known. Hopefully it's helpful for you. All right, so you've decided to buy a new car. You've decided to buy a Mustang, and I always wanted a black Mustang that I could wax up, and I never had one, never had a good paint job that I could wax. So I decided I wanted a black on black Mustang with black leather, and that's what I got. I found one, picked it up. Soon after purchasing it, I realized what everyone was talking about with black cars. And we're gonna take a look at my car, and I'm gonna show you the swirl marks. But essentially, whenever you wash your car, if you dry the car with hand, even with a clean microfiber, you're going to scratch the paint. It's going to leave swirls. It's just regardless. You can scratch the black paint on the new Mustang with your fingernail. So let's look at the paint. I want to show you kind of what I'm talking about. And if you're daily driving your car and you don't have a place to park it that's like inside and it's going to be dirty because you're driving it every day, black cars get super dirty really fast. You're gonna be washing it a lot. That's when the paint gets scratched, is when you wash the car. So it's actually when you're drying the car. Unless you use an air dryer, like a blow dryer, leaf blower or something, that's the only way. So let's take a look at the paint. I'm gonna show you the swirl marks. Hopefully the lighting is really good. It's overcast, so you're not gonna see all the swirl marks, but let's just try to find some so I can show you. Well, this is a really bad day to try to show you swirl marks. I've just been able to find some imperfections, and those scratches literally came from who knows what. I keep my car garage parked, covered and everything. This is from a water drop from the apartment complex. There's a leaky pipe, and that does not come out of the paint. It probably has Drano mixed in with that or something, and it got into the paint. But since it's overcast, you can't really see the swirl marks. You really need a clean car and some bright sunshine. The paint actually looks good, but it's dusty. But if you can kind of see on this fender underneath that dust, there's just tons of swirl marks. You can't really see. Another thing is, you don't ever want to touch. Can you kind of see there underneath that paint right here? The car's just got tons of those all over it from drying it, even though I used a clean microfiber. So when the car's dusty like this, you actually don't want to touch the paint, because that dust will just scratch the paint even more, even though you've got a clean rag and everything else. So the most noticeable areas are on these back fenders. Like I said, you can't really see much right now. So in the sun, I promise the whole car is swirled up, believe it or not, but due to the lighting and the dust, you can't see it right now. Okay, so how do you fix the swirl marks? Well, for one, when you wash the car, you can use the 2-bucket approach. We have 2 buckets. You can Google that. Basically, you're rinsing off the dirty sponge after you wash the car in 1 bucket, and then you're transferring it, so you're getting all the dirt and soot from the car, and you're gonna rinse that off. You're not gonna retransfer that dirt back onto the car. Okay, that's one way to keep less scratches and swirl marks on your car. The second way is to air dry it. Obviously don't use a brush, but essentially the less you can touch the car, the better, right? And if you use clean microfibers to dry it, that's one way, but obviously it still gets scratched, because that's what happened to mine. The best way is probably to blow dry it with like a big leaf blower, or they have automotive blowers that will help you dry the car faster without touching it. So the least you can touch the paint, the better. And if you already have swirl marks and you want to get those off, you can buff it out. An orbital buffer is probably the best way to go. It takes a lot of time and a couple hours, I guess, but it'll get most of those swirl marks and scratches out. So black shows it the worst. So if you're considering a black car and you daily drive it and you're going to be washing it a lot, then know that that's going to be something you have to tend to. Now, I'm super particular about my cars. My dad always taught me, don't touch the paint, don't touch the car, don't watch the door when you open it. So that is kind of OCD to a fault, almost, where I can't enjoy the brand new car for the first few years. But I want to show you some of the things that have happened to the car, even though I park it far away from everyone else, even though I park the car like in the corner parking spots with the like hash, you know, where there's extra room. And I just try to still, the car's gotten door dings. Someone backed into it and drove off. I'm gonna show you all the blemishes, and it shows more in a black car. So, you know, if it's a garage queen, that's okay. You're probably gonna have less markings and door dings and stuff. Maybe not door dings, but you won't notice them as much. But like I said, if you're daily driving the car, you probably, and you're OCD. It's okay if you daily drive it and you're not OCD, but if you want a really clean, good looking car constantly, and you daily drive it, then in your OCD, then you probably shouldn't get black. And I will show you why. Here's all the things that have happened to my car since I've owned it over the past 4 years. So this is what happened in Santa Monica. It dented the bumper a little bit. You can see that there's see how the paint is distorted there. It means there's like a curve there. It's because the bumper's actually bent a little bit. You can see there's someone just backed into it and drove off. It's not that noticeable. You know, if it's a white car, it might not be as noticeable, but it's still there. Didn't leave a note or anything, just part of owning it. This one's the most recent ding. Someone, I don't know what happened. It was just there one day, and I parked my car in a gated, covered parking garage. I guess when I went to the gym, or maybe it was the neighbor. Who knows? Really frustrating, because I try to keep my cars super clean, but part of it. It's okay. You know, I'm gonna keep this car for a while, so it's fine. And you know, you can actually pay someone to get those out. The second one, this was on the car when I bought it. I think it's when the dealer just put his hand down on the car. You can see it right there. I think he leaned up on it with his hand as he was resting. Really small ding, but I still know all the imperfections on the car. There's another little water marking from when it dripped down. It's kind of stained. It's kind of acid burn or something like that. When I bought the car, the detailer was wiping it down with one of those red oil change rags, and it put a scratch on the hood here. Probably can't see it because the lighting's actually really nice today, but anyways, don't let the dealer detail your car when you first purchase it. This ding right there happened like the first week that I got it, and don't know how it happened. I park it far away from everyone, like I said, but it's just part of it. And the other thing was that the neighbors, I had a car cover over the car, and they rode their bicycle in between my car and their car and kind of drug the handlebar down the side of the car and put a little wrinkle in the fender. It's not that noticeable. Like I said, all this stuff is just stuff that only I would notice because I own the car, but you know, it's really hard to see because this lighting is helping the car look a little better. But regardless, those are some of the, you can kind of see it right here. It's hard to see right there. See how it's distorted? The roof of that house is distorted because of the ding. Anyways, little OCD on my part, but those are some of the things that are part of owning a black car or just a new car in general. Essentially, if you want to drive your car, you're going to get car door dings and stuff. And I've tried my best over the past 4 years to keep the car from getting door dings, but it's just going to get them. I park far away. I park my car in a gated, covered, you know, like kind of almost an underground structure, and it still gets stuff like that. So, you know, if you're OCD about your paint, don't get a black car if you've never had a black car. That's just my heads up. Now, also, if you're going to be daily driving it, it makes it even worse. You could go with like a silver. My old Fiesta ST was silver, and you didn't notice the scratches and stuff. Now, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I guess that's the summary, because when the black car is cleaned up, it looks amazing, and it just looks so good. So, you know, those are the compromises. I just want to show you kind of what my car's been through over the past 4 years, how to wash your car, how to take care of it, how to stay away from the door dings and stuff like that. Essentially, you just park far away from people and do your best to give yourself some space so when other people pull up, they don't ding your door, stuff like that. Park in the corner of parking lots, park far away if you can. Still, like I've done it, it still gets door dings. People are still gonna just back into your car and drive off. That's just part of living in a big city like this. Back home, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, so you didn't really have a lot of cars that were gonna ding your door as much because the city it's more spread out. Everyone's so compact here, and cars are just more consumable. You know, it's like people don't take care of them quite as much. They just use them to go from here to there. So when people ding your door, it's just not that big of a deal to them because most people lease cars out here and stuff like that. So anyways, I just wanted to give you a heads up on the situation with a black car or a new car, and my experience with my vehicle the past 4 or 5 years, and how I've had to take care of it, and some of the things that have happened to my car and my experiences. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching. See ya.